Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another Reactor Community Spotlight event. The Reactor Community Spotlight is a show designed to meet, greet, and put a spotlight on community leaders. Every week, we interview different community leaders from across EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Leaders who are recognized in the developers community that will share their journey, career path, and will inspire us. Each week, you will meet leaders from different reactors, and I might be biased, but this week we have the pleasure to host you in one of the best and most beautiful reactor in the world, Reactor Tel Aviv. My name is Adi Stein. I'm based in Israel, and my role is Strategic Innovation PM at the R&D CDO office. And I'm really excited to host this first episode from Reactor Tel Aviv. Share in the chat where you are tuning from. Before we begin, I would like to highlight that today's session, as usual, follows the Microsoft Code of Conduct. We are all here to learn, be respectful, kind, and open to all of the different questions and viewpoints. Also, don't miss the check-in option. Once you will check in, you will automatically get signed up to all of the Reactor event listing, newsletters, and more. The link should appear right now on the chat. And now, it's my absolute pleasure to present today's guest, Vered Flis. Vered is the community leader of Women in Clouds, and she is the first Israeli women MVP. In her day job, she works as a strategic technical account manager. Her face might be familiar to you as she speaks in many tech conferences, and on top of that, she is a mom to 3 gorgeous and active little kids. Vered, kudos.
Thank you, Adi.
Vered, kudos.
Thank you very much, Adi. Thank you for inviting me here. This is an amazing place. Look at the view. This is the real view. So I'm
How
really
are you
excited
doing today?
I'm fine. Yeah, post-COVID, it's really nice to meet like people in 3D. I think that all of us really miss this. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Please share with us, with the audience, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I think that most of the information you already provided, but I will add that in the last 10 years, I've been a software developer and R&D manager. I built a lot of systems. I really enjoyed it. I know that a lot of developers might be listening to this. But I think that in the last year, I really started to think that I want to learn more about the infrastructure, most importantly, the cloud infrastructures. This is why I moved to Do It. Do It is a global company. We are a partner of all of basically the large cloud providers. And now I'm a technical account manager. So I think that I do the things that I love most, which is people and technology. This is it. Basically, my background is really diverse. I've been in the military, in the Israeli military. I served as a nurse, registered nurse. Then I went to study electrical engineering, and then I started working as a software developer. So I been in a lot of industries, and I just I think it might be inspiring for other people that might be listening to understand that there are a lot of options, and just don't stop. If you love something, just go for it. Yes, this is me.
I'm a huge fan of Israeli Women in Cloud community. And can you tell us a little bit more about the community, why you initiated it?
Well, I think that what motivated me to establish this community basically is the COVID. I think that a lot of things emerged due to the COVID pandemic. All of us saw like the work from home and all the extreme modernizations that a lot of companies had. I think that a lot of modernization processes that might have been taking for like years happened in just a few months due to the COVID. And I felt it, and I felt that I want to be in the cloud ecosystem. I think that this is, a really revolutionary industry. And I really searched for content and for women that might inspire me. And I found out that there is no such a community in Israel. This is why I built or established Women in Clouds. Basically, Women in Clouds, I think it's a platform, to showcase a lot of leaders in the Israeli, women leaders, of course, in the Israeli ecosystem of the cloud tech, and just provide inspiration for other women, for the next generation of women in tech. I bring a lot of women from very, I think, revolutionary positions and roles, like FinOps. FinOps basically is a position or role that didn't exist like 2, maybe 3 years ago. There is even a processes like cloud procurement, which is like specifically for cloud. There is security in the cloud. So a lot of new roles and new skill set that women should learn and at least be familiar with. I think this is like what I'm trying to achieve, just to inspire other women, to show them the opportunities, and just to make them go for learning, something, read about the cloud. This is what I'm trying to achieve. And yeah.
On what channels the community lives?
Well, channels, the main channels are LinkedIn and Facebook. In Facebook, there is a page which is basically available for everyone. Everyone can like it. But there is the closed group, which is a private group for women only. And on LinkedIn, we also have a page, okay? And it's open for both all the genders.
Yeah. So if any of you interested and listening right now, you're welcome to join as well.
Yes, please like.
Yeah. I've also mentioned that Vered is the first Israeli female MVP. How does it feel to be the first?
First of all, I'm really grateful for Microsoft to acknowledge this my activity, okay, in the community. It's really important because I think that when such a huge company and significant company is acknowledging our activities, as community leaders, it's like a signal that we are in the right direction, that we are doing right thing in the right direction, and we should keep pushing and do it. Not just it's not like that Microsoft is supporting me and tell me do only Microsoft thing. She tells me, Vered, you are doing great things. Keep on pushing, and push all the community, the cloud tech community, forward. So this is really, really amazing. And being a woman MVP, I think that I feel like I need to to be a role model for others. It's a huge accountability. Being the first woman MVP, because other women and the next generation might be looking and say, wow, if she made it, maybe we can also be the next MVP. So this is the message that I want to bring to all of the women out there in the tech. Just don't hesitate, try, and you will achieve whatever you want.
So we are welcoming more genders to become an MVP, and the work that you are doing is amazing. All of our MVPs are doing a fantastic job in contributing to the developers community. So thank you for that. And can you tell us about how does it feel to be an MVP and what kind of activities you are doing?
Yes, basically I'm the main activity that I'm pushing forward is the cloud technology. All things cloud, bringing more women to the cloud industry, supporting and mentoring other women to join this industry, the cloud tech industry. We're doing sessions online. It was mostly online because of the COVID. And I think that the community is basically born in the COVID. So we really adapted and embraced the online sessions and everything from home methodology. So we almost didn't had like 3D meetings, but we will be there. I think in 2 months from now we will do our first face-to-face session. So we are doing a lot of things, and mainly interviewing, significant and inspirational women from across the industry here in Israel. the tech industry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've been following it and I've enjoyed a lot of lectures.
Yes. You are one of them, by the way, Adi.
Oh, thank you. Why, in your opinion, gender diversity is important, especially in the cloud community industry, computing industry?
Yeah, no, I don't think that we should like do exceptions. It's not that the gender is the women and gender is important in cloud technology. It's important everywhere. That's it. We shouldn't like do exceptions and everything. I think that we as a woman, this is what I feel. Okay, this is my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as a woman, we bring something else. We are solving things differently. We are thinking a little bit differently. We are approaching problems. I don't say problems, challenges differently. We have our own way, and this is really important. That women will be part in the tech ecosystem. Not for just for thinking about small with companies and achieving things like even in when you think about like global challenges, all the global challenges that we are facing. Even if you will take a look at Israel, it's really important that good people, will be part of this ecosystem. We are, the startup nation here in Israel. Tons of companies. Most of the companies that are born today are born to the cloud. So we need strong people with a totally new skill set that know how to solve things for the cloud. So I think that this is truly important that women will be part of this game. When we think like strategically, and for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you took the pandemic as a great source, and it's helped you to create a community and to engage. Have you had any challenges?
Basically, I won't say that we had challenges, because really we started, or we were born because of the COVID, because I really got this signal that the cloud is taking over, basically. And we should like have this platform for women in Israel. So I think that the opposite around. Okay, the COVID just did us good things. I really hope that COVID will disappear. I don't want the COVID to stay with us, but I think that like the side effects of the COVID are blissful, and I think that we should all embrace them and continue with the balance that we all have, like with the work-life balance. So for the women in clouds, we didn't have challenges, the opposite around. So
amazing.
And now we are starting, as I said, we're starting to meet in person, so it will be fun.
Finally, to see all of the great
yes,
people behind the comments and behind all of the, of course.
Yes, we have great women from all over the industry, from women from the giants vendors to the startups. Yeah. So I
also
think,
academy.
And the academy, of course. I think that the academy is a great source for a new technology. So yeah.
What's the best career advice you would give to someone starting their tech career? What is the best career advice would you give to someone starting in their tech journey?
Yeah, I think that if I'm thinking about myself when I started, the thing that I remember most is the tons of information I had, tons of sources. Where do I start? What do I do? Should I go for a degree in the academy, or should I do it by myself? And I think now, today, the companies like, I think adopting, the method of do it yourself, train yourself, prove that you are able to deliver. You don't have to go now for 3 or 4 years of studying in the academy. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but I think that today the people that are just starting, for example, in the developers, they have the opportunity to study by themselves. They have a lot of sources which are free, and if they're not free, they're really like cheap. I don't want to mention names, but I think that all of us understand what I'm talking about. So really my advice is if you want to get into this industry, just register to one of the courses, okay, and taste it and see how it feels. If you like building application, for example, and you don't want to stop coding, it might be like the thing for you. Okay, so just start, play with the things, listen to lectures, go into the communities, of course, like this is like a huge part. Just be part of the communities. It depends on your interest, of course. Today there is a community for, I think, everything. Okay, from the backend, front-end, DevOps, cloud, of course, whatever, just name it. You got, even if it's product or whatever. So get into the leaders in the community, follow the leaders on Twitter and everything, and just don't be afraid. Just start. My advice is to start, and you will probably fail. All of us, I think, had or experiencing failures. So just don't give up, okay, and learn from the mistakes and from your failures. I mean, just fail fast, okay, failing and just try again. And of course, and then once you feel like this is the thing for you, you can just consider going for academy, for which like longer commitment, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Such great advice.
And of course, GitHub, you know, how can GitHub is like the open source, and you can basically work, you know, just be part of an open source project. This is also an amazing opportunity that previously developers didn't have. So right now, everyone can join, basically start to work. Maybe you won't pay for it, but you can gain experience by joining an open source project. So this is like where you can gain your experience if you don't get the opportunity in a company. So this is another tip.
I love it. Great, great tips. Open yourself to learning opportunities there. Don't be afraid to fall. And if you fail, just go fast and learn from that mistakes. Really great advices. It shows that you're coming from a startup scene where you need to learn and to fail fast. So I really like it. What would be your recommendation for podcast or any reading materials?
Wow, you know, there are tons, really tons of materials about cloud tech. And it's like, you know, the cloud tech is changing all the time. New services are coming up. You know, old services are deprecated, and a lot of things are moving really, really fast. And it's a bit scary, I might say. But I think that the basics are the basics. So, for example, for me, to learn the basics, the fundamentals, I basically did the Microsoft Learn. If you are familiar with it,
of course,
there is a certification for Microsoft, which is the Microsoft is like the fundamentals, Azure fundamentals, for example. And this is where I learned like the basic things about cloud, like the basic concepts. By the way, those concepts are similar in each and every cloud provider. Okay, and I won't name them, but everyone are familiar with. But in my opinion, Microsoft Learn is an amazing source of learning. Really, the tutorials are really, really clear, and also there are demos. So you get like a sandbox where you can run and test things on Azure. So this is one. And another recommendation is the Israel Clouds, which is an Israel community for the cloud tech. They're doing an amazing, amazing job. Everything is in Hebrew. So this is like less for EMEA listeners, only for the Israel community. But I think that this is very important, that the community or each community will speak their language, bring the technology, which sometimes feel very, strange and very, cold to people, just to bring them to the people in their own language. It's very important. I think sometimes it's an obstacle. A lot of people are not getting into industries, mainly the tech industry, because of the language barrier. So I think that they are doing an amazing job with this. And I recommend other leaders in other countries to do the same. It probably help to bring more manpower. to this industry. And of course, there is another podcast I really like. It's Cloud Wars, which I think the name says it all. There is a huge war in the cloud industry. By the way, from where I sit in Do It, I'm working with huge companies, from startups to like enterprise companies, and a lot of companies are doing multi-cloud. They understand which vendor is strong in what specific services or domains, and they having like place. They're having workloads in each and every vendor. So yeah, I mean, this is the Cloud Wars. It's a very interesting podcast. Another podcast is the Cloudcast, which is another podcast for cloud. They are talking about everything cloud, basically. And just search for, in Udemy, Coursera, all there is, of course, Cloud Guru. You got tons of amazing resources, which you should pay for, of course. But Microsoft Learn, for example, is free, and they have amazing content.
You can also check out the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel. I've also participated and learned from great MVPs like Vered that doing a localized version of Azure Fundamentals in your languages. And it's really make it easy for me to learn and study and complete all of the courses on LearnStyle and get certificates after I finish those courses. So thank you, Vered, for inspiring me in one of your episodes. What do you think about cloud certificates?
Well, this is a great question. Thank you for asking. It really relates to the previous topics that I mentioned about the material and how to get into the cloud tech. Basically, most of the cloud vendors, and of course Microsoft as well, has a few certificates for each domain. You of course have a specific certification for fundamentals. This is like an entry-level certificate. If you would like to start to understand, about cloud, as I mentioned, you can go with the fundamentals. After that, you have like few more levels of certifications, and then you can go deep and dive into data, for example, certifications, security certifications, certifications for DevOps, certifications for developers, because as we all know, everyone in a company has ownership for their cloud workloads. So a lot of companies today basically asks or looking for people which are certified, cloud certified. It depends on the role, of course. So to answer, yes, I really recommend going for certifications. I see the trends. I see how companies are sending more and more people to learn about the cloud. And as I see it, in few years, it will be like a must for most of the roles and positions. So go for it, and you will benefit from learning about the cloud. So yeah.
Before we will finish, do you have any upcoming events that you want to talk about?
Yes, I think that we have like two in the roadmap. One is with Microsoft, by the way, in the north of Israel. And another one is with other startup here in Israel, where we are going to do another physical event. It will be on data and cloud. Yes, there are a lot of challenges of data, and to talk about how cloud can help you with those challenges.
So check in to Vered Group and also to the Reactor to follow those sessions. Vered, we had a wonderful session today. Thank you so much for contributing to all of the developers community and also for the great episode today. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us today. And we will see you next week in the Reactor Community Spotlight next episode.